Okay. Okay. Hi, I'm Eric Gaston. I'm a field CTO with AppDynamics. Hold on one moment. Just gonna get this up. So I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the transformation journey with AppDynamics and our application performance monitoring solutions. And really the purpose of this presentation is just to introduce some key concepts and models to really drive best practices and operational maturity, leveraging AppDynamics along with the integration with other tools, organization, and process. It's really kind of an interesting journey that we go on with our customers. So I'm really glad that I have the opportunity to take you through this today. So what do our customers really want from AppDynamics when they come and they start talking about transformation? I mean, what customers really want, and most large enterprises look at it, it's this sort of common problem, right? Most enterprises have been leveraging technology at scale for decades. And what the original application architectures did, they were extremely siloed, and organizations tended to be over-invested in a lot of things, stuff like, tools, and then they developed all these numerous and siloed processes. And lately, they ended up having to rely on people we'll call subject matter experts, really, to run and inject change into the complexity. Transformation in this landscape requires a really high level of visibility to ensure that companies can maximize the whole value of this historical investment they've made as they seek to bring their customers along in this transformation journey. To fully transform, enterprises need to start leveraging a common and modern, portable, and resilient set of tools, really to maximize the value of investments they've made over the historical timeline, and also to integrate and start to create a single control plane to make sense of all the complexity. Secondly, they really need to start to create a common scalable business process that allows organizations to develop a common language across the business and the enterprise. Lastly, we really need to focus on getting the right resources to scale teams horizontally across the enterprise and break down all these historical silos. The end result is really to drive a much more comprehensive customer experience at higher service levels and lower operating costs. We see this being executed with the emergence of integrated support models like DevOps, SRE, and AIOps. All these are intended, though, to really bring a much better customer experience. So when we start thinking of this in the context of what drives that enterprise maturity, we know that customers that leverage a really well integrated and orchestrated tool set across their full product lifecycle drive much higher levels of maturity than organizations that adopt in silos or pockets. It really all starts with the business experience and having the ability to track and understand end user performance requirements as a starting point. By understanding the performance metrics that customers care about, you then have the ability to drive and meet those key requirements through the SDLC, starting with your development or DevOps pipeline as seen here. And then taking those requirements and really driving them into your performance testing and SRE capabilities. And lastly, driving all those capabilities through right into production, where you start to integrate your tools and have an MRI view of your production performance. Really understanding the quality and performance of code as it gets promoted through the life cycle is significantly de-risks your enterprise. This also creates much greater velocity in your pipeline and in terms of the quality of delivery and new business features. It also allows for a much better end user experience. At AppDynamics, we really understand that customers who have this well-integrated tool strategy as well win. At the base level, AppDynamics really helps to unlock a lot of value of other tools that companies have invested in over the years, allowing for data to be correlated and orchestrated from multiple sources onto one single interface in a modern, portable, and resilient manner. This creates some common language across the enterprise and allows for customers to extend and tie technology performance and data to business outcomes. In addition to this sort of well-integrated ITSM and logging and application monitoring capabilities, it's also important to do integration at the infrastructure layer, which allows customers to both correlate the application and infrastructure performance, as well as really to have a true end-to-end view of the enterprise. So if you think about a company looking from having that end-to-end view from layers 1 right on through to layer 7, and having correlation of all the components along that path. By connecting these ITSM tools and logging and then into your application layer, this provides correlated visualization at the application level. This allows customers to really gain valuable insights in what we'll call our passive monitoring space. And this can all be correlated onto one single pane of glass through a product like AppDynamics. To kind of move past this passive monitoring space into the real active monitoring, a lot of our customers leverage synthetics to proactively test and understand how code can perform in production. From there, we look to really tie this to the business. This is first where customers start to look and understand, okay, how do we start to translate IT performance into business performance? First, through persona-based dashboarding. You could think of this as a developer view, an operational view, and probably a management view sort of at the base level. And then ultimately, we want to extend this. And we extend this through to where we start to tie your IT performance directly to your business outcomes. This is really where we start to see the highest level of monitoring maturity, and we start to really unlock the full value of a product like AppDynamics in terms of its ability to integrate and create high degree of resiliency and portability across your enterprise. So to outline what this whole transformation journey looks like with AppDynamics, we have an enterprise maturity model. The enterprise monitoring maturity model really provides a framework for our customers to understand the type of maturity and attributes AppDynamics drives at each stage of the transformation and operational maturity journey. This is a framework, however. This is not a customer-specific roadmap, and we seek to work with each of our customers to fully define what maturity is required for each tier of application, from business critical to non-critical. And we ensure that we understand what the definition of maturity and success means at each stage of the customer journey. This is done through workshops and collaboration to develop a joint roadmap of maturity by a customer on a customer by customer basis. So as we start to move you through, this really starts to coincide with the transformation journey of our customer. And we're really looking to get those specific outcomes and drive those through, whether that's automation or developing new models for the company. So in terms of delivery, to make the desired future state of maturity come alive, AppDynamics works with the customer to design and implement customer-specific roadmaps that ensure both product adoption and desired maturity are achieved at scale. We use a build, scale, grow model, which allows for customers to gain maximum value out of their APM investments. And this really happens at all stages of delivery. It really all just starts with a plan. This is achieved in the maturity workshop and joint roadmap session. It allows various stages and outcomes of each level of maturity. Once that is achieved, we start to move into what we call the build phase. In this phase, we seek to implement what we call a showcase app or reference implementation. This is a demonstration of the full capabilities of our product in an end-to-end environment on a single application. Once we achieve this, we then move to scale this out at a broader level with limited integration capabilities. In the grow phase, we look to really integrate various scaled capabilities and drive the organization to a more holistically towards a much higher level of operational maturity and some level of automation. And lastly, we seek to fully transform the monitoring landscape up, down, and across the enterprise, attaining the highest level of maturity and a high degree of automation. I like to think of this delivery model in terms of a cake analogy. In the build phase, we're delivering cupcakes. You could think of this as, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and we want to give full end-to-end capabilities, all the flavor, all the value of a full-size cake in a small scale model. When we go into scale, we like to think of this as single layer cakes. We're going to build larger scaled versions of those cupcakes. And lastly, when we get into grow, this is where we start to unlock the value of the integration by stacking those cakes and kind of bring it all together. By following this pattern, we can ensure that our customers can come along with us fully on this monitor maturity journey and achieve their desired adoption and maturity state at scale across the enterprise. So I really want to thank you for the time here today. I encourage everyone to stop by our booths. We have a lot of great things going on. I'm going to be there for about the next hour or so, a little more. After that, we're going to have some time with our cloud experts on our team. And lastly, we're going to be talking a lot about the SLED space. So encouraging everyone to come by, ask questions. Also, we're also having I guess, an auction off for a set of AirPods. So personalized AirPods. Those are part of the deal today. So love to see everybody come by, ask questions, and I want to thank you for your time today. It was really great.